Lleva una ojiva de 230 kilos y posee un alcance de más de 124 kilómetros. Lo que estaba el grupo frente a la costa ucraniana. Pero es una misión fuera del alcance de Kiev en estos momentos. Desde la destrucción del club de grupo hasta la Panopticene de Kiev,
Have you ever been recorded in public? To your knowledge?
I think so. Probably.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I've definitely like had people send me videos where they're like, Murby spotting, and it's just me like walking, and I'm like, what the heck? I don't know you.
Have you ever recorded anybody on the street before?
I did for a film class, but it always makes me like really uncomfortable. But the assignment for that class was like film strangers, so that's like the only time I ever did it because it was for a class. But like I feel so bad doing it, you know.
Why is that?
I don't know, it's like people's business. I know when I see candid pictures of myself, I'm like, ew, I look like shit. And like I don't want to make other people like if they ever like saw it one day and they're like, I look like shit. Like I don't want to, you know.
Sure.
That's weird. It's such a complicated one because I have like a decent amount of like notoriety in like the Philly local music scene.
When did that start? Do you remember?
That started like September of 2020 because I had an abusive relationship and he was like, you can't succeed in DIY without me. And I was like, fuck you, I'm gonna post my nudes and they're all gonna like me. And that's exactly what happened. So now like, and I've gotten so much grief from like being on Twitter. I've had people like come up to me and just be like, you suck because of your tweets. And I'm like, all right. And then on the other hand, there's people who have like parasocial relationships with me and they like come up to me at parties and they're like, Murby, like, I know everything about you. Do you want to do drugs with me? And I'm like, I don't know you. So like part of it's good because I like that people know who I am and it's how I like share my art, but also like I'm not famous, but like just I have like just enough like notoriety where like people do recognize me and like it feels weird sometimes, you know? Yeah.
Do you remember the first time somebody recognized you based off of your social media presence?
It was like right when like shows came back and somebody came up to me and asked me if I was the Khaki Cuffs girl.
Khaki Cuffs girl?
Because my abusive ex was in a band called Khaki Cuffs and I outed him.
Gotcha.
So I was like, are you the one who outed that guy? But what an awful way to phrase it. I think surveillance is going to become more of a problem. And I think we're going to like lose more privacy. And I guess it really depends on like I don't think I care about it that much. Like I'm not, if all they're going to do is send me targeted ads and like cater to me better, like I guess that's fine. I'm not really like planning on building a bomb. I don't feel personally threatened by it. I think AI is scary, just as like an artist, because like the whole like AI art movement thing that's going on right now and all the debate around it is very strange to me and feels unnatural. Like I don't think it's heading in a great direction. Sure. I think it's heading, remember in like the 80s and they were like, robots are going to be sentient one day. Like I think the internet's just doing that now. And I imagine that as the technology develops, it will only become like more, I'm sure like my laptop will talk to me in like a human tone in like 10 years.
Sure.
And that's weird.
I don't think it's kind of already does that in a way.
Yeah. I'm imagining it in like more of like a
her type.
Someone's on the other end, yeah, like her.
Yeah.
You know, where it's not just like Siri's like, I googled it. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, I know what you want, like that kind of thing.
I guess I started using social media. I got Facebook in the 7th grade. How did it feel? It felt like I was maybe cool, actually. I guess my whole life, or like at least in school, like around my friends at school, I don't know, it's kind of looked down upon. I don't know. I think I was just seen as the weird horse girl from elementary school, basically, because that's what I was. But I hated that people knew and thought that about me. So Facebook was like a step up. And a friend I had who was, she wasn't like popular, but she wasn't as like far down on the social ladder as I was, and she helped me make it. And I guess, yeah, I felt like cool, and like maybe sounds stupid, like, oh, maybe I'll get popular because of this, but obviously I didn't.
I remember observing my brother using AOL Instant Messenger, AIM, or AIM, as many people I was later friends with called it, when I was, too young to really properly use it myself, but then very much wanting to, because at the time, seeing it, like, yes, it is so similar to email, but having it in that, like, what is now our really text message form, instant messaging, really kind of blew me away. So I developed a lot of like very strong friendships through even that, whether it was exclusively or supplementary.
Do you still have some of those friendships?
I would have to think really hard,
Sure.
but probably no, probably not any of them. But it certainly set a kind of precedent in terms of how I wound up using other forms of social media. Because, for example, I think the next real thing for me, and what most people would consider real social media, like, was MySpace. And that was really cataclysmic and pretty life-changing overall. Yeah, so I had a horrible experience around when I was like 18, 19 years old. Canceled, so to speak. So I had a real it exacerbated what was already there in terms of my like neuroticism around posting and stuff like that. Neuroses, I should have said. So it changed sharply, and then has, I think, wound up being maybe a net benefit in that it's allowed me to focus more on things that would lay a better foundation for that, rather than just like haphazardly using social media willy-nilly.
I definitely, obviously, have had like trial and error with what I maybe should or should not post. So on one hand, I'm afraid to post to social media because of maybe the ways I've changed, and then on the other hand, social media feels like the only way I can keep in contact with people or have social interaction. I hate that, but that's where I'm at right now, basically. I had gotten catcalled by this was like several years ago. Got catcalled by several men in one day, and I was fed the fuck up, and I said something and ended in most men are hot dumpster fires or something, or garbage fires, and then somebody was very, very, very upset about that, and then instead of was just rude about it, and then basically started insulting women as a whole, and I was like, alright, well, you don't want to actually have a conversation about this, that's fine. And then the other one I think this happened last September. Not this past September, the September before, 9/11. I posted a picture of Charlie XCX floating in an inner tube in front of the burning Twin Towers. Amazing meme. And then this girl DM'd me and was telling me about how offensive it was and how I was like basically a horrible person for posting that and thinking it was funny.
Well, being an influencer is just like, I mean, people try and obviously like separate it from the like average celebrity because of the just like inaccessibility of the average celebrity, especially for like the 2000s, like if we're talking about pre-Instagram. But to me it's more like being a talk show host. The content that I make is me telling jokes, telling stories, making people laugh with my voice. That's the big thing. So it's essentially as though I am how you would just watch any other show or any other programming, YouTube, whatever, except for I am obviously the producer, editor, and manager, lawyer, every single thing. So that's, I think, is just what encompasses being an influencer, is that you have to do all of those things. You don't have like unless you know someone, I don't know, you don't have a team of people for a long time. But what I think is cool is obviously, my thing is, if there are people who can be famous or if there are people who can make money off of their personality, I can be one of those people, for sure. Because I think I've got a shareable personality. People tend to like me. And I think it's fun, yeah. So I'm like, if that's a thing people can do, like if that's a thing, I always say like, if it can happen to somebody else, it can happen to me. If it can happen for somebody else, it can happen for me. So if I saw there was the Lohanthonys who were on Vine, then since that all started, I've been like, oh yeah, that I could do that. I remember like my first like video that was doing really well was in that spring, like if March is when quarantine starts, that like spring, I was like, oh my god, I had a video and it did so well, like that's so exciting. So from then till maybe that winter was like 33K or whatever, and then I was kind of like stuck there, like just kind of plateauing, didn't really know what was going on. Then when I moved here, I was like, I'm going to do this, like I'm gonna make something out of this, like I'm gonna do something. And so I started a new page. I started a food page, and essentially as soon as I started the food page, my like first or like my third video or something like that blew up and got like I don't know, like 2 million views or something. So I got 100,000 followers in under 2 weeks. Like it was really, really fast. So on my main page, I talk my shit, and I have gotten many many community guidelines violations. I would say 75% of the time wrongfully, which sucks because there's nothing you can do about it. So I feel as though my main page is kind of in the TikTok purgatory for being black. If anything where I'm showing my body at all, violation. I'm just too thick and sexy. It's just too much. Oh no, terrible. Meanwhile, we all can see plenty of these other people, plenty of these other underage girls dancing in bikinis, and it's like fine and normal. I'm a grown woman wearing a full outfit, and it's too much. It's taken down. I can just get a strike or get some sort of penalty if people mass report your page, which I've had. Yeah, because I've happened several times, which it does kind of feel like a flex, because the thing about putting yourself on the internet is that you have, like, people say, like, oh, like, you're opening yourself up to, like, criticism or, like, to hate. But I feel like the way that I would like to describe it more is it's as though you are letting people know you, or, like, you're telling people things who you wouldn't be telling in real life. Like, I wouldn't be telling your racist uncle my fun little joke, but he can just find it. You know what I mean? It's not, they can just give it to him. So it doesn't matter how well the context is of your video. It can always go to whoever it's not meant for. So for example, I said, this is the video verbatim. I go,
why does everything have to be about race? It's gonna be about race every day that I wake up black. Yeah.
First, it's all people who are like, haha, you know, all of the people who are connecting with it, the people who are supposed to see it, essentially. As that grows, it's now like, oh, I'm sure more people would like this. And then whoever the video is about, who is going to inevitably be butthurt, sees the video, gets mad. Now they're leaving comments, because essentially, if I'm getting a flood of engagement for people who don't like me or don't want to see my videos again, the only thing that will the algorithm is not reading your comments. So if you share a video, if you comment on a video, if you watch a video multiple times all the way through, even if you're doing it with pure hatred in your heart, they are going to show you more of my videos, because you are spending time on the platform and I am the way that you got there. So it's only going to mean that more of my videos will show up to the wrong crowd, and they will not get watched, not get liked, and then therefore essentially ruining my ratio to where it's like, oh, people don't want to see this page, or they don't want to see this content anymore, even though people do, just not the people who are involuntarily celibate.